What's up, African Fight Fam? It's your boy JB back again with another exciting episode of the African Fighters Podcast. This is a very exciting week. Very packed with a lot of things to discuss. But yet again, I am not by myself. I am also I'm not by myself. I'm with someone with a very bad internet connection as usual, which is Toby Aderemi. But today we've got another guest, so we're going to wing it. 3 people from London. Our former, you might remember this guy from, I think about a year ago. We had this guy on our podcast. He's been coming back. But it's none other than King Demola. Welcome back. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. All good. Thank you, brother. From Abuja to London.
Oh yeah. The last time we spoke, you were in Abuja, weren't you? So some things have happened. All right. And then, ladies and gentlemen, it's your favorite boy up next with the bad internet connection as usual from Lagos, Nigeria. Toby Aderemi. Sup, Toby? Huh? Toby, what's up, man? He can't hear me. I cannot make this up.
Nice to be here once again.
Good. There you go. All right. Well. All right. Okay, guys. Boom. Here we go. Demola would start until I guess Toby's connection gets better, but I don't think he would in the time being. So we'll just get into it. All right. So as I mentioned earlier, very packed show. Oh, where are my manners? Ladies and gentlemen, please do us a favor. Please like this video if you're watching live. Even if you're not watching live, still like the video for us. It goes a long way. And please consider subscribing as well. Okay? And if you want to support the African fighters and what we do, we are on Patreon, guys. So now, Patreon in the description below. The things that you could get from joining our Patreon is we can bring you on the show as a guest, and you can share your opinions, and you can get to suggest topics, and we'll just have an intimate community on Patreon basically. So yeah, just go pledge and support the African fighters. Yeah, so without any further ado, we'll just jump right into it. It's a crazy fight week. UFC 290 just ended. It wasn't a very good night for the Mexicans because the Mexicans literally lost 2 champions or 2 titles on the same night. I'm talking about Rodriguez losing the unification fight because he was literally a champion as an interim champion when he lost his fight. He lost his title to Volkanovski. And Brandon Moreno versus Pantoja, a split decision victory for Pantoja. Now the flyweight title goes back to Brazil. All right, but guys, that's not why we are here. We are here to talk about the main event of the people, the main event of the African fight fans. Ladies and gentlemen, Dricus Du Plessis defeats Robert Whittaker by TKO in the 2nd round. All right, I'm just going to go straight to you, Demola. Demola, were you surprised?
Definitely, I was not surprised by that. I was not surprised, and I don't know if you followed my predictions. I manifested it as well with Adesanya. You know, I said that Dricus was actually going to win by KO or TKO. That's my prediction. I'm not surprised.
Okay, so basically, what you're saying is you predicted Dricus to win by TKO.
Yeah.
Me personally, I think that I owe Dricus an apology. I was one of his doubters. Although in the official prediction, I did pick him to win, and I thought he was going to win by luck. Which right now I look stupid, but I still got my prediction right. I picked him to win because mostly I just want an all African fight in the that is if he gets to fight easy. because well, we are the African fighters, and that's what we live by. So yeah, so I would say, Dricus, please accept my apology for doubting you.
I'll take
Whenever Dricus, whenever he speaks, right? Whenever Dricus speaks, he
it.
sounds very believable, and I would want to believe him, and I do absolutely believe him. And now with this fight, and him saying, uh, I'm gonna what beat easy now, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But let me just get to Toby real quick. Toby, were you surprised that Dricus beat Whittaker? And okay. Just gonna get Toby out of there. So yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to mention something, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
About that fight. I think Dricus gets a lot of disrespect from all the fight fans, right? But
Mm-hmm.
when you saw that fight, you would have noticed a very sizable, a very significant size difference between Dricus and Whittaker.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. Dricus is someone that used to fight in the welterweight. He was once upon a time a welterweight champion in KSW, a welterweight champion in EFC. But when you look at him now, his frame
Also,
and his body,
was UFC
yeah,
as well.
yeah, his frame and his body size, he kind of looks like he's a very very big middleweight, and if he gets to fight easy, I think that's going to be a problem. But here's something that we definitely saw. What we saw is that we knew that Dricus has had a lot of submissions in his career, not really a lot, but he's got a few there in his career. But then the grappling, because we saw in the first round, Whittaker rushed and he took Dricus down, but Dricus did a good job and got back on his feet real quick. But then when they scramble again. Sorry, am I mixing this fight with Cameron Simon's fight? Am I remembering it well? Oh yes, yes, yes. In the grappling, Dricus really surprised me. Um, he was controlling Whittaker very well. A lot of people have been saying Whittaker has a very good wrestling because he fought with Yo Romero, he survived and all that. But like, with the power of Dracos, I'm now a bit scared for Easy, you know. But one thing that was very eminent is that one thing that was very obvious was that we saw a well-rounded package in Dracos's arsenal. He's a great striker. He's a great wrestler. Now, when he mixes it up, it kind of looks a bit unorthodox. And I think what makes it look more unorthodox is when he's fighting, he has a very high guard. You know, when people try to punch themselves in when they try to get close in range, he has a very tight high guard up here. So when he does that, it looks a bit funny. So that is why people kind of think that he looks unorthodox, but I just think that it's just solid defense, you know. But now that I have Toby, were you surprised that Dricus beat Whittaker?
Of course, I was. I picked Whittaker to win, so I was surprised. But if he was going to win, it was in the manner in which he did. So um, I am surprised, but I wouldn't say I'm as impressed as you seem to be, because like it was one of those fights where it's a fight at the end of the day. Anybody can catch something, and even like the stiff jab that got through to Whittaker, it was something where he was kind of trying to still like protect himself after landing that. So it was not like, okay, it was a well-timed targeted. It was just, okay, we both land, but I think mine connected stronger than you. And we both know that Easy is not that kind of fighter. He's not trying to take damage and
Wait,
give
wait,
that
wait,
to
wait.
his
We're not getting into Easy yet. We're not getting into that
I
yet.
know, I know,
But
I know, but you said you're
Excuse
kind of
me.
scared for
but
Easy. So
but
I'm like,
I beg to
like
be.
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
like,
Toby. Wait. Toby refuses to give Dricos his flowers. Toby, give Dricos his flowers. You doubted this
no,
guy. He won,
wait,
and
wait,
you are still saying that it was not
wait,
really
wait, wait.
impressive. Really, Toby?
Toby,
Really?
I'm not.
did you watch
I'm.
the first round?
I did. I
Right.
watched the
So
fight. Look,
did you see what Dricus did to Rob in that first round? He big brothered Robert Whittaker. the grappling exchanges. He was dominant in the grappling exchanges. Apparently, if you were to score round one, it was a 10-9 for Dricus. In round two, Rob couldn't get any significant strikes on Dricus, and this guy was dominant in terms of the striking, in terms of the wrestling. So, what else do you want from somebody in mixed martial
Okay,
arts?
so my answer to that,
Jiu-jitsu.
I understand. But my answer to that is okay. We've seen Rob fight Romero twice, and I think lose round one and probably round two. We saw him lose round 1 and 2 against Darren Till. He's the kind of fighter that starts slow, like he has to like find his rhythm, and then he starts to like pick you apart. I think the only fight where he dominated start to finish was the fight against who's this guy that just got his ass kicked like last week?
Vittori?
The Italian guy.
Vittori.
Yeah. That was the only fight that I really saw him like dominate, like start to finish. He has always had it in him to like struggle early on in the fight. But I understand that Dricus is.
I have one question for you. Did you ever see Rob during his welterweight days in the UFC?
Wait. Here's my thing. Yeah, let's not get there. But I want to get Toby to give Dricus his flowers. Did you not see the ground and pound in the first round? Did you not see those elbows, bro?
Come on. I mean, like, Dricus is a really good fighter. Okay. I accept that. But I'm not as impressed as you are. That's all I'm saying. Like, I didn't see any technical, like, I didn't see anything that he displayed that made me feel afraid for Easy. That's all I'm saying. Like, I know he's a really good fighter, but I'm not scared. Like, let's go.
Well, guys, before we continue, I'm just going to give a special shout out to Damon Archery in the comment section. He said, no, he wasn't. Basically, he wasn't surprised that Dricus beat Whittaker. Yeah, I would say I was wrong. I think I already said it. And Dricus, I apologize for doubting you. But this is what we've been waiting for, guys. This is what we've been waiting for. As fight fans, African fight fans, we've been calling for this since the start of the year. There's an incredible story to be told. Okay, so here's the thing. If you guys don't understand, you guys watching right now, in the history of UFC, there has never been a time where an African-born guy will fight another African-born guy. When I say African-born, someone literally born in Africa and someone literally born in Africa to fight. We are going to get it for the first time ever, and this time it's going to be for a title. And to top it all off, there's an incredible story going in, which got rather very uncomfortable last night. I'm talking about when Israel Adesanya, well, I don't know, he kind of looked a bit tipsy. I wouldn't call him drunk, but he went into the cage after he had some few words with Dana White, and he squared off with Dricus. So now there's a lot of chatter on social media online about that exchange and the things that Easy was saying. So there's been a lot of like, if you don't know, there's been a lot of story building up to this moment. Easy has been calling for this fight. He wanted this fight. Dricus obviously has been calling for this fight. And here's the thing. We interviewed Dricus over a year ago after his UFC debut. And he literally said he just needed a year or a year and a half to get to the title, and he wants to meet Easy there. And well, he called it and it happened, right? So, and the situation of him saying he wants to be the first African champion and all that, he has been saying it since from his debut. So now the controversial part of this face-off in the octagon was Easy said he wasn't drunk, but Easy looked drunk in there and sounded drunk. He repeatedly said the N-word. He was like, yo, what's up? my N-word? What's up, my N-word? What's up, my my N-word? And as you can see, guys, I am an N-word, and I found it a bit uncomfortable too. Right? But I knew what Easy was trying to do. Easy was trying to say, "Oh, you think you are African, but you cannot say the N-word like I'm saying it, and I dare you to say the N-word." So I think it made sense in Easy's head, but the execution and the aggressiveness in how he said it, so in my opinion, was uncomfortable and cringe. Uh I'm very sure Toby would have a different opinion about this. Toby, what's your thoughts or what's your take about it?
Uh, oof. I mean, this is as cringe as it can get. Like, okay, so what Easy was basically trying to do is like, you know what, you think you're from Africa, but the truth is you're not from Africa. He said it countless number of times, I think, on Logan Paul podcast, on his podcast, on different platforms. He said it that he's a product of like white guys are not born in Africa. It's no news. Like, so he's a product of slavery and everything. And I think Dricus is trying to avoid going into that kind of conversation as much as possible, but it's kind of difficult to do that after you made comments that question, how much of an African that the champion is. So I feel like Easy took it a little bit too far
All right.
yesterday. So yeah.
I think we lost you a bit there. We didn't hear the end of your point, but yeah, I hear you. I hear you. But I'm going to ask Demola now. But before I do, let's just take a quick look into the chat. Really busy chat today. We've got the legend Temba Gorimbo dropping his usual weekly ha ha ha. We see you, Temba. Shout out to you. We've got Legotla Tige says DDP wins Easy by the way of appetite. Oh god. Oh god. I did not expect that. Gosh, I'm not supposed to laugh at that, am I? Uh Christopher says keep up the great work. Thanks, Christopher. We've got AJ Wolf. Sometimes Easy takes it too far. Look at times when you feel disrespected, like John Jones' situation. It is what it is. I don't care. Still my guy. Can't wait for 293. Uh, yo, shout out to Temba. Temba is at the airport. He says he's killing time with us. Yeah, we see you, Temba. So we'll get back into the conversation, okay? I'm sorry, guys. That apartheid joke was very funny. So yeah, I'm going to go to Demola. Demola, do you agree that what Easy did in that octagon was not a good look on him and it was cringe? Do you agree, or are you taking the side of Easy here?
What do you expect? Some people might say I'm biased, being the president of Easy's Fans Association, right? But I don't think he took it too far. The thing about this, if Conor McGregor were in that same situation, if Conor McGregor did the same thing, what would you say about Conor McGregor, right? Everybody can take this kind of things from Conor McGregor, but then you can't take it from Easy, right? The champ says whatever he wishes to say, and it is what it is. You should have seen the journalist that asked Dana White about this same situation as well. Dana White was like, nobody cares about this kind of things, right? And apparently, you need an acrimonious situation to sell fights a lot of times. So these are the kind of things that sell the pay-per-views, and it's interesting. It will be really, really interesting to watch. It's has actually created a hype, created an interesting storyline, bad blood, and that's what sells fights. So we can't wait
All
to
right,
see
all right. Thanks,
the fight.
thanks, Demola. But there's also another talking point. There's something that you guys will probably agree with me. I think Izzy shouldn't have been in the octagon at all, right? I understand that he wants to fight. He is the champion. So basically, him stepping up to the challenger after a challenger's fight is not really a good look on the champion. I think that was a mistake, and I think it was a misjudgment on his part. He probably, you know how Easy is, he probably would not admit this, but I'm sure if Super Easy would consider being like, nah, I'm not going to walk into that octagon. It's not going to be a good look. I am the champion. He needs
How about
to,
Dana
like,
White?
you know,
Dana White said they actually debated that before Easy was allowed into the octagon. You know,
hey, sorry, guys. Sorry to cut you off. Yeah, we've got an inside scoop here. Uh, Temba is at the airport, ladies and gentlemen, and he's in our comment section. He did say he saw Easy last night. He said, "I saw Easy last night and chatted with him. I just feel and hope he doesn't get hate cloud. He doesn't get hate cloud his training. He truly doesn't like trickers." Yeah, Temba, we agree. And he has made it very obvious. Easy does not like trickers at all. And there's this popular thing that fight fans say: he's living in his head rent free, right?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I think it is true in this situation. But then, how does that affect Easy's camp and on fight day as well? You know, in the fight game, I'm not going to say Easy has not faced something like this. We've seen it similar with Paulo Costa. He didn't like Paulo Costa and all that. But being a fighter, with sometimes fighters, when they are filled with rage and anger, they throw away tactics and strategies, and then they come looking for that knockout or looking for something. But I think Easy is strong enough to avoid situations like that. But how about you, Toby? Do you agree that Easy should never have stepped into that octagon?
In all honesty, I think he shouldn't, because it just shows you how desperate he is for this fight. It's the kind of fight that, if they were not professional fighters, it doesn't matter. He'll have the fight on the street regardless. He just doesn't like that guy. And I think this one is very different from the Paulo Costa fight, the Gastelum fight, the Pereira fight. We've seen Easy in situations where his emotions have been tested and he has managed to put them aside. I mean, fighting somebody that has beat you 3 times, for the fourth time, there's no way you can do that without emotions, but he managed to do that. So, as much as I want to believe that he's capable of separating his emotions from his tactics come fight night, I think this one might be the one that, might really mess with his head a little, because, as you said, tactical Easy doesn't work in there. He likes to be the guy that, okay, you know what, I'm on top of the mountain, come for me, right? To walk in there just shows you how the, and funny enough, Dricus said it, like, I think in his pre-fight conference, where he said he doesn't really want to fight Easy, he just wants to fight whoever has the belt, right? So for Dricus, it's not as personal as it is for Easy, and I hope that doesn't like affect his tactics come fight night. But I really think he shouldn't have stepped into that octagon, to be fair.
Yeah, I think that was poor judgment, and he probably wouldn't agree with me. Easy wouldn't, but I'm sure if he was playing sober, he probably wouldn't have, and would have a different situation. Not that I'm knocking him for having a good time at ringside or
but
at
I
octagon
never
side.
find Easy, and Dana White, Hunter Campbell will not agree with you on this.
Well, yeah, speaking about that, I'm just going to pull up this picture again. Ladies and gentlemen, you see this moment that you're looking at in your screen right now. This moment you are looking at, I promise you, I can bet my house on this. If this fight happens this year and Conor McGregor doesn't fight this year, let's assume Conor McGregor doesn't fight. This fight is going to be the biggest market for UFC. It's going to be the highest selling pay-per-view this whole year, because we are already seeing division, right? We are seeing division. There's, because of the racial undertone going in there, people are taking sides. We're seeing a certain color being here, a certain color being here, and there's some neutral sitting on the wall. And regardless, it is Easy. After McGregor in the UFC, the next biggest star in the UFC is Easy, arguably, not even John Jones. So I think this will be good market for the UFC. This moment here, because we've been talking about wrinkles in the storyline between Easy and Dricus. This is not just a wrinkle. This is like a major, major, major selling point. This is like WWE stuff, when it's one thing when you, in a promotion, you are told this guy will fight this guy because they don't like each other, but it's another thing when the disdain for each other is showing in your face. You are seeing it, and you have a picture to back it up. A black guy saying the N-word to a white guy saying I'm going to be an African champion. It's a crazy story. This would cross over into like pop culture. This would cross over into people that don't even care about MMA and would want to watch it. Just like, the Khabib and McGregor fight. A lot of people that watched that fight were not MMA fans. They were just like fans of the storyline. Oh, so there's this Irish guy, crazy Irish guy fighting this Muslim guy. And, the back and forth and stuff. I think this has potentials to... If you don't know this, now you know. Kamaru Usman has the highest selling pay-per-view in the history of the UFC for an African-born fighter. That is the Fight Island, the first fight in Fight Island, Usman versus Masvidal 1. It sold about 1.2 million pay-per-view. It had 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. That was like a very big business. That's why they quickly did Usman Masvidal 2 when the crowd came back. I'm telling you, this fight has the potential to knock that off and being the highest selling pay-per-view fight for an African fighter. I think we need to do a list about the pay-per-views for fighters. Ladies and gentlemen, subscribe. You see the list of the top 10 highest selling pay-per-view of by an African fighter. But guys, what do you think? You think this is going to be a draw? What do you think, Demola?
I've said this already, and I'll say it again. Right? Bad blood creates, interesting background to promoting any fight, and this is just going to happen, right? It's very fantastic storyline to sell the fight, and I think that this fight is actually going to outsell any pay per view by an African fighter in the UFC.
Demola, sorry, Toby, you've got anything about this
Yeah, I agree
encounter?
with you guys. I agree with you guys. Just as he said, the reason Dana would not agree with us with Easy getting into the ring is because he gives us this beautiful picture, this beautiful moment that he's definitely going to push the fight, to sell. So from a business point of view, I can see why they are doing it. I mean, it has massive potential to be really big.
All right. Well, still on the Dricus matter, guys, because this is a
Just
gist.
to mention, right? This
Uh-huh.
this picture that is showing on your screen right now. Trust me, believe you me, it's going to be on the countdown. It's going to be on the embedded. It's going to be on every promotional material. Trust me, trust me on that.
Yep. Uh, well, it's going to be part of the documentary for Easy. He already has a documentary out and a documentary for Dricus. But we don't know, is it going to be a good story for them in the documentary? Is it going to be a bad story for them in the documentary? I guess we'll find out when that actually happens. But then still on the Dricus matter, but before we go, I'm just gonna enter the comment section again. We've got Tumbosun Oyenuga. He says, people will protect the ignorance of his words from the interview to his social media posts. We've seen in his interview with Helwani. I think he's talking about Easy here. Easy wanted to do this. Easy like creating his own stories. Christopher is just having a conversation in the chat. All right, so still talking about Dricus, ladies and gentlemen. This Dricus's win last night is not just big for Africa, but it is huge for South African MMA. As we know, Dricus is a prodigy, is a prospect, or is a result of EFC being the Alpha MMA promotion in Africa, and that is based in South Africa as well. A lot of African fighters that are born in Africa, basically, they go through there before they actually leave the continent. We've got a few fighters like from EFC to like grace the UFC even before Dricus, like Dumbolucha. I forgot. I think he was a double champ too as the EFC, a Congolese guy. Yeah, but we've got Temba Gorimbo too, former EFC welterweight champion. But so there are a lot of gyms in South Africa, right? But before I get to that, Conor McGregor here posted a tweet. He said, "Huge congrats to South African MMA and South Africa, period. This is an incredible for them inside the UFC octagon and title fight next for sure. Let's go SA." All right, so I'm not going to say, Conor McGregor is hopping on the Dricus bandwagon. We know that McGregor and McGregor and Easy, I believe they have the same management, which is one of the reasons why Easy has like one of the biggest deals, or if not the biggest deal in the contract in the UFC. But anyways, we cannot undersell or oversell how important and how significant this win for South African MMA is, or South Africa as a general. In the prelims of this event, Cameron Saaiman, who is a protege of Dricus himself, trains at CIT. CIT is the name of the gym that they come from. And one thing that you would see about the game of these guys is how well-rounded it is, from the grappling to the striking. Their base is always K1 kickboxing, as both Dricus and Cameron Saaiman has. But I'm not very knowledgeable about the rest of the guys that they have in the gym down there in South Africa. But I think we have something growing here. We know that in New Zealand there's City Kickboxing, where CKB, where Easy comes from, where Volkanovski, Kai Kara France, all those guys, where they come from. So like they, at some point, they kind of like took over the UFC. Nobody understood their style. We've got like the Dagestanis. When Khabib Nurmagomedov came out, nobody understood Khabib's style. It took a while before people studied that type of style. Now I kind of feel like there is a similar pattern going on with South African MMA, most especially CIT, where Dricus and Cameron Saaiman comes from. They've got a weird style in the sense that they are very well rounded. They don't make a lot of mistakes, but very effective. Most of their wins are TKOs. And bro, last night when Cameron Saaiman was fighting, I think we'll get into that. So I think I rambled a lot, but I'll give you guys a chance to talk. I'll first go to Toby. Toby, how significant do you think this is for South African MMA?
I mean, it's really big. Like just and not just like not just Dricus, but even what Cameron Saaiman is doing. I mean, the guy he took on yesterday was a really, really big prodigy. Like a lot of people have said he was going to do great things. You know, we have a video on, you know, the guy and their fight, and he made it look so easy. He made it look like he was, I don't know, 2 steps, 3 steps ahead of him, like at all times. And so it just shows you like how good what they are doing in South Africa is. I mean, Dricus he's got into the top basically in the UFC. You know, one more win for him and his dreams will come true. Like he will be the champion he always wanted to be. And so I think we had an interview with what's his name? I can't really remember. The South African EFC featherweight champion. And then he spoke about
Nicholas
the other one. No, the other guy.
Yeah, but go ahead.
That is
Just
joining.
go ahead.
That is joining PFL. Yeah. So and he
Oh,
spoke to me
Ibu
about
Kabesa.
Yeah, Kabesa. You know, he spoke to me about these guys and what they do at CIT, and then showing that, you know, you don't even necessarily have to do a complete sweep of all your coaches and everything. And, you know, if you can build on the base that they've created there, you know, it's really amazing. And that was interesting for me because Kabesa is like, he's very well rounded too, but it's like more of a grappling guy. He has more of a grappling background. So it's really good what they are doing in the EFC, and they are pushing out a lot of talent, you know. So and I think it's really what we need in Africa, you know, to show that, you know, we can actually do this.
Well, I think there should be like a distinction. So here's my thing, okay? First of all, South African MMA nerds, I'm not really very learned about it, but here are my observations. You tell me if I'm wrong. When we see South African fighters cross over, fighters from South Africa cross over to like the Middle East, they fight in UAE Warriors or Brave CF. But when they fight in those places, one thing that they are always lacking is in the grappling. So when they put them up against a Russian or somebody from Asia, once they start grappling them, that's where the issue. The level of grappling is not the same with those guys over there. So they always struggle with the grappling. So, and I don't know if those guys that leave the UFC, that leaves EFC and cross over to East Africa struggle with the grappling. I'm not sure if they come from CIT, the same gym that Dricus and Cameron Saaiman comes from, because those guys, Dricus and Cameron Saaiman, they are very well coached. You could tell there was a strategy in which the striking exchange between Dricus and Whittaker was Dricus standing in southpaw most of the time because he felt like that's how he would do damage. You could tell that it's not just a fluke. It's not like a lucky shot going in there. There is a lot of preparation that gets into that, and it's very solid work. So, as Toby said, fighters from South Africa now, most especially CIT, will probably not need to change a training camp, and they can actually train from South Africa and still be top quality or be like high level in the fighting the big dogs in the UFC. Well, that is what have been proven so far by Dricus and Cameron Saaiman, but obviously time will tell until people figure them out. But whatever they're doing, I think they're really doing a very, very great job. Before I get to Demola, you haven't spoken, but I'll just get into the comments a bit. Let's see if there's anything good going on in there. We've got Frederick Hoingsville. Frederick is a returnee. He said, Dricus did it. Yes, my brother Frederick, you were right. Toby, if you can remember, this guy was in here with us last week. He said Dricus would do it, and yes, he did it. Shout out to Dricus Du Plessis. The excuse behind Easy's behavior is that he was drunk, but being drunk is literally when people tell the truth and how they really truly feel. And Tumbosi was, well, it intercepted Rob Blitz. I think he's talking. Tumbosun is talking about the striking. All right, King Demola. Yeah, quickly before we switch topic. What do you think? How significant do you think this victory is for South African MMA?
Yeah, I think it's a really big win for South Africa. Looking at what they have been able to achieve with the EFC movement, they have quite a number of good fighters, right? Well, you don't have many fighters that are well-rounded from the South African MMA leagues. So we're seeing people like Whittaker, seeing people like Saaiman. I've been watching Saaiman for a while, and Saaiman has actually been very impressive, especially the turn of this year. He was on UFC 282, UFC 285, and if you go back look at Saaiman's fights, right? Look at his fighting style, his grappling, his wrestling, his jiu-jitsu is really, really sound. So it means they have a really good program at PIT, but then we cannot generalize based on that program that they have down, at CIT with something that you have in Russia, in Dagestan, for example. That in Dagestan, the grappling is a culture over there. They have so many, competitions. The Russian sample, like it's a culture for them over there. So it's not something that is comparable to what you have in South Africa.
Yeah.
You have just one gym that has a good program right now, and hopefully they can
Okay.
that going forward.
All right. I think Demola, I think there's something wrong with your audio, your microphone. I think we'll address that next time. But yeah, I do agree with most of the things you say. But before I can see we have 12 people. I think this might be a record for us. 12 people watching our live stream. Amazing. Mona clap for them. Oh, no, they clap for them. Clap. All right. Shout out to you guys. You guys watching us. This is the African Fighters Podcast by Africans for Africans, regardless of your African color. So, if you want to support us, guys, we are on Patreon. We just got on Patreon. If you want to have a chance to air your opinion on the podcast, join our Patreon, pledge whatever amount you want to pledge, and we would have you on the podcast. probably next week, or it's a weekly thing. We do it on Sundays. So yeah, subscribe, pledge to our Patreon, and you could be one of us here talking. All right, so yeah, let's get into it. So speaking about Cameron Saaiman, ladies and gentlemen, that brother is going to be a problem. He has very, very good quality. I'm not sure if both of you, I'm pretty sure that Demola have seen this, because Demola was up all night watching watching this fight. I watched it in the morning because I saw your messages. And Cameron Saaiman won first round via TKO. Again, a very, very solid performance, very well rounded, grappling on point. First time we saw Cameron Saaiman on the back, he was on guard. He pulled guard from the back, and he was fighting from his back. Basically, he was fighting in guard, and there was a lot of submission threats in there. Like he was trying to like trap the arms, try to get like a triangle or an armbar in there, and like you could tell that he knew what he was doing on the ground. Then he became overwhelming with the wrestling, and then yeah, he flattened out uh this fella, I forgot what his name is, and ground and pound to victory just in the first round. And I must add, apparently Cameron Saaiman had some adversity in camp. He had some injuries that he was nursing, and he still came through. And his fight fell off. His original fight fell off. This was a quick shot. It was a short replacement. He still wanted to be on the same card as his big brother Dricus, and I would say, yo, this guy would have a number to his name pretty soon. Wouldn't you agree, Toby?
Yeah, in fact, I want to see him actually fight somebody that, somebody that can really, really test him, because this guy that he fought, Terrence Mitchell, I don't really understand what the game plan was, to be fair, because Mitchell is like predominantly a striker. Yeah, he does have some submissions to his name, but that's when like he's hurt people like really bad and then they start covering up. So to see him round one straight up shoot for the takedown, like without even thinking about, okay, like this guy is actually a better wrestler than me, so why would I even want to do that? I want to see Saaiman up against somebody who is like really good, so that we can, see just how far this guy can go. So, I need him to be ranked like ASAP. Let's see him fight the big guys.
Okay, so I agree with you, but there's also another thing. Another thing with Saaiman is that when you look at his fight, he looks very packaged. He looks like quality. He looks like title material. I'm maybe the opponents are making him look good, but since from his EFC days, he became a champion, dropped the title, went to Dana White Contender Series, got a finish in there, UFC debut, got a finish in there, got another finish again. He is looking like he would be a problem for anybody. Uh, I really, really think that he would beat a lot of the guys in the top 15 right now, even with just the little that I've seen. Wouldn't you agree, Demola?
There's a but there, right? So, if you know something about me, one thing about me is that I love to watch the prelims, right? You know
Mm-hmm.
that, and the prelims are gold. Actually, that's where you get to see a lot of the raw talent, the up and comings, and the really hungry fighters are there right there in the prelims, right? Now, I've actually seen this guy grow up in the UFC. I saw him at UFC 282. I saw him at UFC 285 as well. And in his previous fights, he has been giving away very cheap fouls. You know, the his first fight in the UFC, I think he lost 1 point due to groin strikes, repeated groin strikes. In the second fight in the UFC, he lost a point due to an accidental eye poke, right? And this is his first fight in the UFC when he's not, being caught having a foul. And that's why at the end of the fight, he went to the broadcast booth and say, "No fouls today." So these kind of fouls can actually cost you a lot. when you're fighting with the high level fighters, right? If you have a point deduction against the top level guys, they will capitalize on that and eat you raw. So I think he has a lot of growing up to do as a fighter. He's got a lot of raw talent. He's um, really good in terms of he's well rounded, yeah, because his striking is above average. His grappling is quite excellent as well. He's got really good jiu-jitsu. But the worry I have for Saaiman is his body frame. He's a bantamweight, right? But then there are
Yeah.
big bantamweights in the top 10. So look at people like Merab. Look at people like the champion. What's his name? Aljamain Sterling. That guy is pretty much like a featherweight or a lightweight. Look at people who are lanky and dingy, like Sean O'Malley. Look at people like what's the name of other guy that beat TJ Dillashaw. He had
Peter Yan.
uh, he had Peter Yan, right? And there's this the Sandman, yeah, Sandhagen, yeah. So
Mhm.
Corey Sandhagen, right? That top 10, top five basically is filled with killers, guys that are big for the weight class. But this guy has a small body frame, and trust me, um, size matters. Size,
Um,
size does
I
matter.
think I will not agree with you when it comes to the body frame. I think he has a pretty decent body for the bantamweight. Because here's my thing, right? He has like these BJJ guys body type, where there's like the upper part of his body is like he almost has like short legs, but not necessarily short legs. Those are the guys that they can easily wrap your neck even when they are bottom of a guard. They would wrap their legs around your neck and get a submission in there. They are very flexible, those type of guys. I think his body type is going to help him with terms of like the grappling.
I mentioned
Will
four
his
guys
body
that I
type
think are going to be
will his
top
body
10
type help him when Aljo gets on his back? I
Yeah,
don't think so.
and
But but but
when you have the human backpack or you use a
but
wrap, you have some people
yeah,
in that body, right?
but I think he's going to hold his own. If you look at the rankings, the top 15 in the bantamweights. Yo, before I even talk about the bantamweight, sorry, I've been sitting on this comment by Frederick. Frederick did say that he would likely fight Cody Garbrandt. It's a big possible fight for him, but I think Garbrandt the
Bantamweight.
has left the bantamweight. He has gone down a weight division below, right?
He came back. He came back.
Uh, he came back, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
after losing to Kai Kara France at 5 weeks.
Oh. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, so sorry. So what I was saying is I think he would hold his own. He will hold his own. Obviously, they're not just going to throw him into the sharks yet. He probably would get a contender after maybe winning his next fight. Or maybe if his management have very good bargaining, they would find Nick McMahon and get somebody on his way down in the top 15. Maybe Pedro Munez. Uh yeah. But anyways, that's it about Cameron Saaiman. We are going to be following this guy's story. Love to see African talent. Uh, so Temba Gorimbo is there. Temba Gorimbo did mention that Cameron is legit and will be champion. Yeah,
Hopefully, I hope to see that.
yo, bro, this guy, Simon is very, very young. And he's really good at this age. And someone that did not even go through training camp very well. Look at what he did. He wrapped up the fight in the first round before he took any damage. He is actually very, very legit. All right. So guys, normally our podcast we stay at 35 minutes, but we are running up to an hour. So we've got one more topic to do before we go. We are going to bring it back to Nigeria. All right. So there were a few press conferences or a few Q&As with some fighters in I forgot what city it was there for UFC 290, and Kamaru
Okay.
Usman was obviously in the Q&As, and everybody wants to know. The bubbling question is, Usman, when are you getting back in there, right? And something that has been in conversation for a while now is Usman versus Chimaev, and we heard two narratives. Two narratives came out from this. Usman mentioned there are issues of logistics, but not on his side. And as people, you understand logistic, it means say when people they travel. So it means say Usman does not have issue with logistic. That means he can travel, but Chimaev cannot travel. That's what he indirectly told us. And there has always been rumors that Chimaev has been having issues. Rumors, oh, no be me talking. Rumors that Chimaev has been having issues with his US visa. I don't know how true it is. They say that probably because he has been hanging out with a lot of with some war guys, warlords, or people that and America does not politically agree with them. So he probably is having issues with his US visa. So I heard. You guys take this with a pinch of salt. And there's also another talk about Usman also saying Chimaev make the weight, right? Apparently Chimaev is now making money and he's too relaxed and he doesn't want to cut weight anymore. Well, there might be an item of truth in there because Chimaev last fight he was supposed to fight, and because he missed weight, he made the UFC overnight scramble the whole fight card, switching you fight you this, you guys you fight this one, you fight this one, and he was not even remorseful about it. So, what are the chances of him agreeing to fight in the welterweight? This would have been amazing for Usman because this is the biggest cash grab I think Usman can get, and also his easiest pathway back to the title. If he beats Chimaev, he's going to be back into the title picture. If he fights Chimaev, it would likely be a main event of a pay-per-view, non-title main event, and he's going to get a big payday because we know Usman has pay-per-view points clause in his UFC contract from when he was champion. So, with this being said, I think I've said a lot. Demola, what do you think about Chimaev's travel issues? Have you heard? Well, first of all, did you hear this rumor? Or are you just hearing it for the first time from me?
Definitely, this is not the first time I'm hearing about it, right? Because apparently it's tied with the Chechnya leaders. People are saying he might have issues with his US visa. But that aside, it can be done somewhere in like Abu Dhabi, for example, because Usman has a good history of selling fights in Abu Dhabi. So the important thing is for Chimaev to agree to that fight. So Usman he's been lobbying for that fight, according to what Dana White has been saying, right? And
Mm.
from what we know about Khamzat actually has said that he wants to be champion at welterweight, he wants to be champion at middleweight, and possibly be a champion at a light heavyweight. So he has that dream of becoming the first three weight category UFC champion. So let's see if he can take this one. Dana White has said he has actually made hints. They're doing what they can to make it happen. And I, for one, would like to see that fight happen. It's Usman's best chance at coming back at the title picture.
Toby, what do you think, real quick, about Usman saying Chimaev make weight? But before you do, I will just go into the comment section real quick. Tumbosun and Frederick have been really active today. Shout out to you guys. Yes, the link for our Patreon is down there in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. If you would want to be part of the conversation and join the African Fighters panel and share your opinions, please support us via Patreon and we'll pick one person a week and we'll just chat up. So yeah, Tumbosun says, I'm going to say this with an African accent. He said, Khamzat. Hi, Khamzat. This dude was supposed to fight Costa a long time ago, but obviously it didn't happen. Frederick says, the make the weight claim is dumb considering Usman wanted to call Chimaev out just when he moved to middleweight. Well, I think Chimaev doesn't want to move to middleweight. He was forced to move to middleweight, but if he had actually moved to middleweight, they would take him off the list of welterweight contenders, but his name is still there. So I would say, as far as we are concerned, officially, he's still in the welterweight. And Bilal is looking towards a belt, earn it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Tumbosun did mention that. Yeah, so Bilal Muhammad and Kamaru Usman, from a casual point of view, I would say is a dud. It would not sell nothing, right? Because obviously people don't like remembering his name, Muhammad Bilal. So, so, but sorry, I had to make a cheeky joke. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but yeah, the three guys that are not very popular in the top of the welterweight is the champion himself, Leon Edwards, not very popular. Bilal Muhammad, not very popular, and I'm not sure. Should I say Kamaru Usman is not very popular too? He is a draw, but yeah, but you understand what I mean. So those three guys fighting each other is not really exciting in any pair. Bilal Muhammad versus Leon Edwards, nothing exciting about that. Usman versus Leon Edwards, Usman versus Bilal, So you see what I mean? That's why when Toby is thrown into the picture, it becomes exciting for everybody, right? That's why, because again, Dana White is in the business of money, right? And uh, when uh, when when Usman lost to Leon Edwards the third time, Dana White quickly mentioned, next up is Kobe Covington, because he knows that's the biggest fight. Because if we wait for Bilal Muhammad to continue wrestling everybody, the pay-per-view is going the pay-per-view is going to suck, right? So he quickly said that, and then Leon Edwards was like, nah, dog, I don't want to fight Kobe. I don't want to. How not do the Birmingham accent, bro? He's like, I'm not gonna fight him. I don't want to fight him. I'm not gonna fight him. I'm the champion now. I'm gonna take my time. You know. So, ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't know, Birmingham has the worst accent in the UK. So, yeah.
Leon is
So,
coming for
I
you,
think,
man.
so, Kamaru Usman and Chimaev, I think, is the most exciting thing to happen. We really want this to happen because it was supposed to happen on Yas Island in Abu Dhabi, and then because it kind of fell off, we started hearing that Islam will fight not Gilbert Burns, the other Brazilian guy, the Bronx, Charles the Bronx. But apparently, reports have been out that Charles the Bronx is injured and he cannot make the Abu Dhabi fight card. So Abu Dhabi now is still without a main event. Please, UFC, I take God Beguna. Please, Chimaev, I beg you guys, make weight. Please, we want to see this fight. That's from me. But what do you guys think about this? Who do you see Usman fighting? Toby, you go first.
All right. You said a lot. Where do I start? Okay, so from the guy in the comment section, yeah, I think it doesn't make sense for Kamaru Usman to have that fight in any other catchweight, middleweight, wherever, because Usman's head right now is, how do I find myself back with the title, right? And as you all said, Khamzat is the direct route to the title. But also he's looking at it that, what, if Leon loses to Kobe, I might just be one fight away from, getting my belt back. And that's why this fight is really important for him. And also, I think unless you have a fight in another weight class, I don't think you can be ranked in that weight class. Because like Pereira, I think is still ranked in the middleweight. But that aside, I don't know why, but I've noticed that Dana White doesn't really like talking about Khamzat. I don't know. I think he's still pissed off a little bit, but he doesn't like attending to those kind of questions. And I think I think he wants to find a way to punish him for all the old problem that he has caused, but he hasn't found the best way to do that yet. So throwing him into deep waters with Kamaru Usman, a ready Kamaru Usman. I mean, not the Kamaru Usman in the third fight against Leon. I want he broke my jaw type of Kamaru Usman that beat up Covington like twice in a row. Like that's the kind of Usman we want. So that fight with Khamzat will be really, really it'll be a difficult fight for Usman. Make no mistake about it. Chimaev is a really, really difficult fight for anybody. Just because, I mean, he just tossed Oland around like he wasn't even a proper fighter. So yeah, but I really want to see that fight. I don't want to see Usman versus Bella because for obvious reasons also, but because I think Belal needs to fight somebody that I'm one of those people that think that Belal hasn't really, really fought like the big guys. I don't know how he has found his way. You know, he's on a really long win streak and everything. But if you look at those names, I'm like, come on, like, give me somebody.
What
I
do
think
you
the biggest.
expect? He's written a name like Gilbert Burns.
Hubert
So
Burns is the biggest name. Like,
what do you
he
expect? You
hasn't fought
expect him to be
my.
somebody before he convinces you. And of course, he has that name. Remember the name.
Wait,
Remember.
Nobody's trying to remember his name.
wait. Make una wait first. Make una wait. I think we have a very very sweet comment here. This one enter my heart. So I will say, Temba Gorimbo just said, I love this. I pray this show makes it, man. Yes, Temba, we pray it makes it. Please, Temba, when you meet Dwayne the Rock Johnson, when you meet Dwayne the Rock Johnson, just enter our Patreon and just pledge maybe like $1,000 a month. You get me? So, so yeah, shout out Temba Gorimbo, man. Really, really appreciate the shout out. Let's get Tumbosun is out here. He said he had an option to fight Luke Rockhold, didn't take it. He had an option to fight Paulo Costa, went missing. If really wanted to fight in the middleweight, had these options. I believe he's talking about Chimaev. And respect the name, Tumbos. Of course we do respect the name. I'm mincing my words, but Khamzat isn't picking any fights, so forget him. Damn, Volk is getting surgery too. Toby, what? What did Toby say? What did you say, Toby? Somebody is saying what?
What?
So I guess I disagree with him. He's saying that Belal has not fought high profile guys.
Oh yeah. When you say Belal did not fight high profile guys,
Brady was undefeated at the time. You know, I've actually been following Belal for a very long time, and he has actually back to back proven his critics wrong. Right from when he was fighting the prelims, they didn't just talk with me. You know, when you see that very funny-looking guy who's wearing sunshades, you know, under the roof, and then his name is Remember the Name.
All right, guys. This has been really, really exciting. I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed chopping it up with you guys and chopping it up with the guys in the comment section. You guys have been amazing. Temba, we are very glad to entertain you while you are waiting for your flight. Yeah, Tumbosun is out here listing the guys that Tumbosun is out here listing the guys that Bilal Mohammed bet. Just so you know, Toby.
I have got Tumbosun here. I have one name on my lips, right? That Kamaru Usman could possibly fight. But that's a dangerous guy, and that guy is Shavkat Rakhmonov.
But Shavkat has already been announced to fight. There's a fight. We lost Toby there. There's a major fight for Shavkat recently that was announced. Just a quick Google search. Shavkat. And Shavkat, his people from Kyrgyzstan have been in Kamaru Usman's comment section on social media. Anytime Kamaru Usman posts anything, these Shavkat fans, they'll just be throwing Kyrgyzstan flags in Kamaru Usman's comment section. Eesh. I can't find it. I think I saw a fight rumor. Oh, yeah. Shavkat is going to fight Kevin Gastelum. Kevin Gastelum is making his way back to welterweight.
Exactly. Wow, interesting. And do not be surprised if Rob Whittaker comes back to welterweight. Just to throw that in. Do not be surprised. Things about to get interesting.
Oh yeah. All right, guys. Temba just post the last message. Temba says he's going to be bored. Come on, man. Well, we wish you a safe flight, brother, and all the success and everything. Tumbosun, you've been real. Frederick, you've been real. all the guys in the comment section. I think we have to give our comment section a name very soon. But Toby is is not here anymore to say his goodbyes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I remain Jibril, and this is Toby. This is Demola. Demola, say your goodbyes, man.
Goodbye, guys. It's been nice discoursing, chit-chatting MMA. Bless you guys.
Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back here again next week Sunday. Yeah, hopefully our Patreon will get some people in there, and we'll jump on the pod together with them. All right, guys, it's been amazing. I remain Jabril Amin of the African Fighter signing out.